All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I'm Sunil Verma. The headlines. Polling begins for the first phase of Jharkhand Assembly elections. Uddhav Thackery Government in Maharashtra to face floor test in Assembly this afternoon. President Ram Nath Kovind says development cooperation is important pillar of India-Sri Lanka ties. India and Japan to hold foreign and defence ministerial dialogue in New Delhi today. And in sports, Sourabh Verma and Rituparna to play their semifinals in men's and women's singles in Syed International Badminton Championship in Lucknow. In Jharkhand, polling has begun in 13 assembly constituencies for first phase of the assembly elections. The voting started at 7 this morning and will end at 3 in the afternoon. The constituencies are spread over 6 districts of Chhatra, Palamu, Gumla, Garhwa, Latehar and Lohardaga. The BJP is contesting 12 seats, while it is supporting an independent from Husainabad. The opposition alliance of the JMM, Congress and RJD is contesting in 4, 6 and 3 constituencies each. Prominent candidates in the fray are BJP nominee and Jharkhand Health Minister Ram Chandravamshi and Jharkhand Pradesh Congress Committee President Rameshwar Oraon. Over 37,83,000 voters will decide electoral fortune of 189 candidates, including 15 women candidates. Our correspondent reports that out of a total of 4,892 booths, 1,790 have been declared most sensitive, while over 1,200 booths are sensitive.
Long queues of voters before polling booths are missing this time, as voters can take tokens and cast their ballot at their convenience. Election Commission has made this arrangement for the first time. Enthusiasm is seen among first-time voters as they are at polling booths in sufficient numbers. Most of the constituencies where polling is being held are in Naxal-infested areas. Over 35,000 jawans of Central Paramilitary Forces have been deployed in the state to ensure free and fair polls at all booths. 4 helicopters have been present to service for air patrolling. 1 helicopter has been stationed at Ranchi airport for any emergency. With KK reports from Lohardaga, Aarti Rana, AIR News.
Elections in Jharkhand will be held in 5 phases and the results will be declared on 23rd of December. The Uddhav Thackeray-led Maha Vikas Aghadi government of the Shiv Sena NCP Congress alliance in Maharashtra will face floor test in the assembly session during a special 2-day sitting of the assembly this afternoon. Governor B.S. Koshyari has asked Mr. Thackeray to prove majority by December 3rd. We have a report from our Mumbai correspondent.
The trust vote for Maha Vikas Aghadi will be taken up today on day 1, preceded by the introduction of new ministers in the House. On Sunday, the Assembly Speaker's election will be held, followed by tabling a motion of thanks on Governor's address in the House. The new Speaker will then announce the name of Leader of Opposition in the Assembly. Meanwhile, the NCP MLA Dilip Valse Patil was yesterday appointed as pro tem Speaker of the Assembly. Dilip Valse Patil is a former Speaker of the Assembly. The ruling combine has claimed support of 162 MLAs in the 288-member Assembly. Sonali Ghadiyar Patil, AIR News, Mumbai.
President Ram Nath Kovind says development cooperation is an important pillar of India-Sri Lanka ties. During a meeting with Sri Lankan President Gotabaya Rajapaksa at Rashtrapati Bhavan yesterday, the President said India has always been keen to strengthen economic ties and investment links between the two countries. He said India wants Sri Lanka to be part of its growth story. The President said, as close neighbours, growth and progress of the two countries is tied together and both have a common stake in the peace and prosperity of their neighbourhood. Mr. Kovind said, both the nations should strengthen cooperation in all fields to promote shared security and development. He added, India is happy that its engagement with Sri Lanka in this regard has brought tangible benefits to the people. The President also said India is ready to undertake more projects of mutual interest as per Sri Lanka's requirements and priorities. A joint statement issued in New Delhi after the Sri Lankan President's talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, India announced a $400 million line credit to Sri Lanka to boost the island nation's development.
$400 million की एक नई लाइन ऑफ क्रेडिट से श्रीलंका में इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर और विकास को बल मिलेगा। मुझे विश्वास है कि इससे श्रीलंका की अर्थव्यवस्था को लाभ पहुंचेगा, साथ ही यह लाइन ऑफ क्रेडिट दोनों देशों के बीच पारस्परिक लाभ के प्रोजेक्ट कोऑपरेशन को भी गति देगी.
Mr. Modi said India will also extend a $50 million line of credit to Sri Lanka to fight terrorism. He said strengthening mutual cooperation in dealing with terrorism was discussed in detail. Hallmarking for gold jewellery and artifacts will be mandatory from 15th of January 2021. Briefing reporters in New Delhi, Consumer Affairs Minister Ram Nath Kovind said notification in this regard will be issued by 15th of January next year, giving a period of 1 year for implementation. He said jewellers and retailers will get 1 year time for clearing their old or existing stock. Mr. Paswan said more than 26,000 jewellers have taken Bureau of Indian Standards BIS hallmarking registration till now. The violator of rules after 15th of January 2021 may attract a fine of a minimum of 1 lakh rupees or 5 times the value of the items or a jail term of 1 year. Welcoming the government's decision, the gems and jewellery industry has said it will bring trust back to the industry and benefit consumers as well as trade. The Union government has extended the date for making FASTag mandatory for toll payments on national highways to 15th of next month. The Ministry of Road Transport and Highways had earlier announced that from 1st of December, toll payments on highways would be accepted through FASTags only. The ministry in a statement said that it has been found that many citizens have still not enabled their vehicles with FASTag due to various reasons. The ministry also said NHAI FASTag will continue to be provided free of cost till 15th December. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates, visit our News on AIR app and follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts. You can also visit our website www.newsonair.com. India-Japan Foreign and Defence Ministerial Dialogue 2+2 will be held in New Delhi today. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will head the Indian delegation, while the Japanese delegation will be led by Foreign Affairs Minister Toshimitsu Motegi and Minister of Defence Mr. Taro Kei. The meeting would provide an opportunity for the two sides to further strengthen defence and security cooperation to provide greater depth to the India-Japan Special Strategic and Global Partnership. The two sides will also exchange views on the situation in the Indo-Pacific region and their efforts for achieving their shared objectives of peace, prosperity and progress for the better future of the people of the two countries and the region. Earlier, speaking on the issue, Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson Ravish Kumar had said,
"We are confident that this summit would lead to further strengthening of India-Japan strategic partnership, special and global partnership, and the 2+2 dialogue will actually feed into the main summit. So I think the discussions flowing out of the 2+2 will form an important component of what will be the outcome during the summit."
Government has said there is no new financial implication for the business and economy in Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh after the abrogation of Article 370. It said specific report in this regard has not been received from the local administration. In a written reply in the Rajya Sabha, Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal said full potential of business and economy in the region could not be realized for the last 70 years as the people of Jammu and Kashmir suffered from terrorist violence and separatism supported from across the border. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has said that Rajya Sabha will form an informal group of MPs to discuss various challenges posed by social media. Addressing a function in New Delhi, Mr. Naidu expressed concern that this trend on social media is misleading children and posing the biggest challenge to Indian values by devaluing our age-old family system. The Press Information Bureau of Government of India has set up a fact-checking unit to verify news related to the various ministries to combat fake news. The Ministry of Information and Broadcasting urged people to email snapshots of any dubious material they come across on any platform, including social media, and get it verified. People can send snapshot or URL of dubious material at pibfactcheck@gmail.com. Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar has again called for combating fake news and even said that it is more dangerous than paid news. President Ram Nath Kovind is visiting Kanpur in Uttar Pradesh today for a day-long tour. During his visit, he will participate in 3 different programs. Governor Anandiben Patel and Chief Minister of State Yogi Adityanath will also attend the functions. More from our correspondent.
In his first program today morning, President will inaugurate an international conference on recent advancements in computer, communication and information technology at PSIT College of Higher Education. Later in afternoon, he will inaugurate the first alumni meet of Chhatrapati Shahuji Maharaj University. President has himself got higher education from the DAV College of Kanpur, which is affiliated with Chhatrapati Shahuji Maharaj University. So on this occasion, he will also meet old students. In his last program, Shri Kovind will attend the felicitation program being organized by the Kanpur Nagar Nigam. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Kanpur.
In the United Kingdom, police have killed a terror suspect for stabbing to death 2 persons and injuring several on London Bridge yesterday. According to a statement by police, the suspect was known to authorities as 28-year-old Usman Khan, who had been convicted in 2012 for terrorism offences. He was released from prison in December 2018 on license, added the official. The incident in London came less than 2 weeks before the general election. Prime Minister Boris Johnson cut short a visit to return to central London for a briefing by the police and a meeting of Britain's Emergencies Committee. He added, this country will never be cowed or divided or intimidated by this sort of attack. A White House spokesman said US President Donald Trump had been briefed on the attack and was monitoring the situation. The London attack came a few hours before a number of people were wounded in a stabbing in one of the main shopping streets in the centre of the Dutch city of The Hague, Netherlands. In badminton, Sourabh Verma will face Korea's Hyo Kwang-hee for a place in the men's singles final of Syed International Championships today in Lucknow. Sourabh notched up a 21-19, 21-16 victory over Thailand's Kunvalwut Vitatsaran in the quarter-final match yesterday. In the women's singles, Rituparna will face Thailand's Phithayaporn Chaiwan today. Indian men and women volleyball teams have entered the semifinals of the 13th South Asian Games. In the last Group A match, Indian men's team defeated host Nepal in straight sets by 21-15, 25-13 and 25-16 at Kathmandu last evening. India will now take on runners-up of Group B in first semi-final tomorrow. And now, for an overview of today's newspapers, it's over to Subha Kaur.
Thank you, Sunil. The Uddhav government to face trust vote in the Assembly today is the headline in several dailies. The Times of India writes, on his first day as CM, Uddhav Thackeray stayed construction of the Metro 3 car shed, saying he won't allow murder of trees. Most newspapers have prominently carried the news of the falling GDP growth. Bottomless pit GDP growth in Quarter 2 slows to 4.5%, lowest in 26 quarters, writes Financial Express. For her praise of Godse, Pragya made to apologize twice in Lok Sabha is the headline that appears in the Indian Express. 4 men have confessed to the rape and murder of Hyderabad veterinary doctor. This story appears as front page news in Hindustan Times, The Tribune, Pioneer and The Hindu. Many newspapers have carried the news of the stabbing incident at London Bridge on their front pages. The Statesman writes, this has been declared a terrorist incident by the Scotland Yard. And with that, it's back to you, Sunil.
Thank you, Subka. And before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Polling begins for the first phase of Jharkhand Assembly elections. Uddhav Thackery Government in Maharashtra to face floor test in Assembly this afternoon. President Ram Nath Kovind says, development cooperation is an important pillar of India-Sri Lanka ties. India and Japan to hold foreign and defence ministerial dialogue in New Delhi today. And in sports, Sourabh Verma and Rituparna to play their semi-finals in men's and women's singles in Syed International Badminton Championship in Lucknow. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And with that, we end this morning news. Have a nice day.